The date is 2026, June 24. This is the Executive Lens. The biggest story today is the Senate's first ever passage of a war powers resolution aimed at limiting U.S. military action against Iran, a direct rebuke to President Trump as the conflict and diplomacy both remain in motion. Al Jazeera reports that the Senate voted to pass the resolution after earlier action in the House, making it the first war powers measure on Iran to clear both chambers. The vote does not end a fight over U.S. policy because the measure is expected to face a presidential veto. But the significance is institutional. Lawmakers are now formally challenging the White House's authority to keep the U.S. on a war footing with Iran. The timing matters because the vote comes while the administration is still trying to manage the aftermath of the Iran conflict through talks and warnings. Fox News Digital reported that President Trump said, "If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do," after discussions in Switzerland. That suggests the White House is still treating the situation as an active enforcement problem, not a settled peace. Al Jazeera's Iran war updates also said President Pezeshkian declared there would be no negotiation on ballistic missiles, underscoring how far apart the sides remain on core security issues.
The broader takeaway is that Congress and the White House are now moving on parallel tracks. The Senate is signaling that it wants a say before any further military escalation, while the administration is preserving maximum flexibility. That split is likely to shape the next phase of the Iran file, especially if the ceasefire or diplomatic understandings begin to fray. On government actions, the White House issued a presidential communication titled Realigning United States Core Childhood Vaccine Recommendations with Best Practices from Peer-Developed Countries. The document signals a policy review of federal vaccine guidance, though the source listing provided here does not include the full text. The White House also issued further adjusting the tariff regimes for imports of aluminum, steel, and copper into the United States, indicating another trade policy move affecting industrial imports. A third presidential communication, Securing the Nation Against Advanced Cryptographic Attacks, points to a cybersecurity-related action from the administration.
Here's the story most people missed. Yahoo Sports reports that Matchday 3 has arrived at the 2026 World Cup, with Canada, Mexico, and Brazil all in action as the final round of group stage games begins. NBC Sports says the live bracket is already taking shape for the round of 32, including possible opponents for the United States if Group D finishes today. For a tournament that is now fully set with 48 teams, the knockout picture is starting to matter immediately. What to watch today? First, whether the White House formally responds to the Senate war powers vote and how it frames a veto threat. Second, whether Iran's leadership hardens its position after Pezeshkian's comments on ballistic missiles. Third, whether the World Cup bracket shifts again as Matchday 3 results come in across North America. That is the Executive Lens for 2026-06-24. Sources in the episode notes. Back tomorrow.